Each item is scored on a 4-point ordinal scale ranging from 0 to 3, with 0 indicating severe impairment and 3 indicating normal ambulation. All items are summed to calculate a total score with a max of 30. Here, Natalie explains, walk at your normal speed from here to the next mark.
A 3 is given for the first one if the patient can walk 20 feet in less than 5.5 seconds with no assistive devices, good speed, no evidence for imbalance, normal gait pattern, and deviates no more than 6 inches outside of the 12-inch walkway width. A 2 would be given if they walk 20 feet in less than 7 seconds but greater than 5.5 seconds. They use an assistive device, use slower speed, or mild gait deviations, or deviate 6 to 10 inches outside of the 12-inch walkway. A 1 would be given if they walk the 20 feet, they have slow speed, abnormal gait pattern, evidence for imbalance, and deviates 10 to 15 inches outside the 12-inch walkway width. They require more than 7 seconds to ambulate. A 0 would be given if they cannot walk the 20 feet without assistance, severe gait deviations or imbalances, and deviates greater than 15 inches outside the 12-inch walkway width or reaches and touches the wall.
In item 2, the instructions are begin walking at your normal pace. When I tell you go, walk as fast as you can. When I tell you slow, walk as slowly as you can.
Three is given if the patient is able to smoothly change walking speed without a loss of balance or gait deviation. They show a significant difference in walking speed between normal, fast, and slow speed, and deviates no more than 6 inches outside the 12-inch walkway. Number 2 is if they're able to change speed but demonstrate mild gait deviations and deviates 6 to 10 inches outside the 12-inch walkway, or no gait deviations but unable to achieve a change in velocity or uses an assistive device. A 1 is given if they make only minor adjustments to walking speed or accomplish a change in speed with significant gait deviations and deviate 10 to 15 inches outside the 12-inch walkway or width, or change speed but lose balance but is able to recover and continue walking. A 0 is given if they cannot change speed and or deviate greater than 15 inches outside of the 12-inch walkway, or lose balance and has to reach for the wall or be caught.
For item 3, instruct, walk from here to the next mark. Begin walking at your normal pace. Keep walking straight. After 3 steps, turn your head to the right and keep walking straight while looking to the right. After 3 more steps, turn your head to the left and keep walking straight while looking left. Continue altering looking right and left every 3 steps until you have completed 2 repetitions in each direction.
A 3 is given if the patient performs head turns smoothly with no change in gait. They deviate no more than 6 inches outside the 12-inch walkway width. A 2 is given if the patient performs head turns smoothly with slight change in gait velocity or deviates 6 to 10 inches outside of the walkway width or uses an assistive device. A 1 is given if they perform head turns with moderate change in gait velocity, slowdowns, and deviate 10 to 15 inches outside the 12-inch walkway, but they can continue to walk. A 0 is given if the patient performs a task with severe disruption of gait outside of the 12-inch walkway width, loses balance, stops, or reaches for the wall.
For item 4, instruct, walk from here to the next mark. Begin walking at your normal pace. Keep walking straight. After 3 steps, tip your head up and keep walking straight while looking up. After 3 more steps, turn your head down and keep walking straight while looking down. Continue altering looking up and down every 3 steps until you have completed 2 repetitions in each direction.
A 3 is given if the patient performs head turns smoothly with no change in gait, deviates no more than 6 inches outside the walkway width. A 2 is given if they perform the task with slight change in velocity, deviate 6 to 10 inches outside the walkway, or use assistive device. 1 is given if they perform the task with moderate change in gait velocity, slow down, or deviate 10 to 15 inches outside the walkway, but recovers and can continue to walk. A 0 is if they perform the task with severe disruption of gait outside the walkway width, lose balance, and reaches for the wall.
For item 5, instruct begin with walking at your normal pace. When I tell you turn and stop, turn as quickly as you can to face the opposite direction and stop.
A 3 is given if there's a pivot turn safely within 3 seconds and stops quickly with no loss of balance. 2 is given if there's a pivot turn safely in greater than 3 seconds and stops with no loss of balance, or pivot turns safely within 3 seconds and stops with mild imbalance and requires small steps to catch balance. 1 is given if there's turns slowly, requires verbal cueing, or requires several small steps to catch balance following turn and stop. 0 is they cannot turn safely, require assistance to turn and stop.
For item 6, instruct begin walking at your normal speed. When you come to the shoebox, step over it, not around it, and keep walking.
A 3 is given if the patient is able to step over 2 stacked boxes taped together without changing gait speed, and there's no evidence of imbalance. A 2 is given if they're able to step over 1 shoebox without changing gait speed and no evidence of imbalance. A 1 is given if they're able to step over 1 shoebox, but must slow down and adjust steps to clear the box safely and may require verbal cueing. A 0 is given if the patient cannot perform without assistance.
For item 7, instruct walk on the floor with arms folded across the chest, feet aligned heel to toe in tandem for a distance of 12 feet. The number of steps taken in a straight line are counted for a maximum of 10 steps.
A 3 is given if the patient is able to ambulate for 10 steps heel to toe with no staggering. A 2 is given if the patient ambulates 7 to 9 steps. A 1, 4 to 7 steps, and a 0 is ambulating less than 4 steps heel to toe or cannot perform without assistance.
For item 8, instruct walk at your normal speed from here to the next mark with your eyes closed.
A 3 is given if the patient walks 20 feet, no assistive devices, good speed, no evidence of imbalance, normal gait pattern, deviates no more than 6 inches outside the walkway width, or ambulates 20 feet in less than 7 seconds. A 2 is given if they walk 20 feet, use assistive device, slower speed, mild gait deviation, deviates 6 to 10 inches outside the walkway width, or ambulates in less than 9 seconds but greater than 7 seconds. A 1 is given if they walk 20 feet, have slow speed, abnormal gait pattern, evidence for imbalance, or deviate 10 to 15 inches outside the walkway width and require more than 9 seconds to ambulate. A 0 is given if they cannot walk 20 feet without assistance, have severe gait deviations or imbalances, deviates greater than 15 inches outside the 12-inch walkway width, or will not attempt the task.
For item 9, instruct walk backwards until I tell you to stop.
A 3 is given if the patient can walk the 20 feet with no assistive devices, good speed, no evidence for imbalance, normal gait pattern, deviates no more than 6 inches outside the walkway width. 2 is given if the patient walks 20 feet, uses assistive device, slower speed, mild gait deviation, or deviates 6 to 10 inches outside the walkway width. A 1 is given if they walk with slow speed, abnormal gait pattern, evidence for imbalance, deviates 10 to 15 inches outside the walkway width. A 0 is given if the patient cannot walk the 20 feet without assistance, has severe gait deviations or imbalance, or deviates greater than 15 inches outside the walkway width, or they will not attempt the task.
For item 10, instruct walk up these stairs as you would at home, using the rail if necessary. At the top, turn around and walk down.
A 3 is given if the patient is able to alternate feet and not use a rail. A 2 is given if they're able to alternate feet, but they must use a rail. A 1 is given if the patient requires 2 feet to a stair and must use a rail. And a 0 is given if the patient cannot perform safely.